Good morning and happy Memorial Day to those in the States who are celebrating it. It is a holiday for us here, which means I'm off work, but I have a big family thing later on. So I'm not actually doing asks today. I just wanted to do a really short video and show something that I talked about a few weeks ago, but I couldn't find it. So somebody was asking me about the little promo that Jeffrey Dean Morgan and his wife Hilary Burton did, and where they had mentioned Beth and Daryl. And I knew I had it somewhere, but I couldn't find it. It was buried in my archives somewhere. Well, I was looking for something a little over a week ago, and I found it. I just stumbled on it. I was like, haha, there that is. Somebody wanted that. So I'm just going to go ahead and play that for you so you can see it, because it's been taken down. You can't find it now. You can find other snippets of this interview where they're like sitting in the same spot wearing the same clothes, but people have looked and we cannot find where she mentions Beth and Daryl. Like, I don't think it's out there anymore. I think they took it down. So I do have it. I think I just screen recorded it, and I had to, I obviously didn't index it very well. So here it is so you can watch it.
Which of Lucille's wigs was your favorite?
The gray one.
Oh, I feel like I giggled through after that. One more question. Let me just make sure there's not any great questions that we're not getting. Which Walking Dead couple is your favorite?
Oh, Daryl and Beth.
You're supposed to say Lucille and
But yeah, them too.
Daryl and Beth.
Yeah, I dug the Daryl and Beth.
The Carol fans, they hate you now.
It's history, dude.
Okay, so just to give you a tiny, tiny bit of analysis, I will say that the way that Hilary Burton plays that is like she thought about it and then came up with Daryl and Beth, but her reaction, it just seems really fake to me. It seems really acted out, so I think she's pretending. Like, that seems like acting to me. Obviously not something I can prove, but it was just a really big reaction, so it didn't seem very authentic to me. And I don't mean that as any kind of dig against her. I'm just saying that that's what either she was always going to say or what they told her to say. I mean, this was done as a way to mention Beth and Daryl. And so I think that her, thinking about this and pretending to come up with it off the top of her head is acted. I think that's fake. In terms of why this is really interesting, keep in mind that this came out, they did this promo right around the time that they did the episode together, Here's Negan. Now, what does that have to do with Beth? Well, in the series, in terms of what was going on in the plot at that time, nothing. I mean, it obviously wasn't really about Beth in the plot. But remember that Here's Negan was one of the bonus episodes of season 10, and so was Find Me. So that episode came out just a couple of weeks after we saw Find Me with Leah. And of course, there's all the symbolism, there's all the things we've all talked about, gone down all kinds of rabbit holes about Find Me and how Leah was a proxy for Beth, even though she was kind of an anti-proxy, sort of the toxic Black Mirror version of Beth, but it just seems to me that they talked about Daryl and Leah. Well, they were happening in the show. And then we had this other romance episode between Negan and Lucille that was also a little bit of a proxy because they were genuinely in love. They were a true love couple. And then he lost her. She died. And of course, we don't think Beth actually died, but Daryl definitely thinks she did. So Negan went through something very similar with Lucille that Daryl did with Beth. And so for them to mention Beth and Daryl in this way, to me, at the very least, it's telling us that Beth and Daryl were the true romance couple. They were the soulmate couple, and that they're drawing parallels between Negan and his wife and Beth and Daryl. But it also could be a way of mentioning Beth around the Leah thing as a way to hint that Leah is a Beth proxy, Leah is a hint at Beth, that sort of thing. So that's about all I have to say about this. It was kind of fun, and I don't have the whole thing here. Obviously, it says she answered 5 or 6 questions, and I only recorded the part with where she talks about Beth and Daryl. So it's a really small snippet, but again, it's also really interesting that it's been taken down. It seems like anytime there's any sort of major, especially official, which I don't know, maybe they could say this wasn't official, except I think it was, mention of Beth and Daryl, especially as a romance, it's always taken down after a while. So the biggest one was after season 4, so this was years ago, they put up a synopsis of Still in which it actually said in there that Daryl had feelings for Beth, and everybody freaked out because everyone was kind of Not sure if that's where they were going with it. There was obviously a lot of debate, and there was already Beth and Daryl shippers, and of course the carolers were already freaking out. But for AMC to put that up as an official synopsis and say that, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember what the exact wording was, but it basically was talking about Alone, and it said he stares at her, over the table, and she realizes he has feelings for her and says, oh. I mean, AMC admitted that and put it in writing, okay? And once the fandom saw it and started flipping out, it was like 20 minutes, and they pulled it. They pulled it down because everybody was freaking out. And this, obviously, maybe you couldn't call this interview quite as official as an AMC synopsis, but these were all done. Hilary Burton and Jeffrey Dean Morgan work for AMC. They work for the show. They're the actors that are on the show. So as we always say, they can only say certain things. They're given talking points, things to say, and things not to say. So at the very least, they would have gotten clearance from AMC and from Gimple to mention Beth and Daryl as a couple here. And that's super, super important. Okay. So the other thing I noticed watching it this time, he actually does say TD, which is interesting. I almost wonder if it was supposed to be TV or TWD, but he kind of slipped and said TD and then went, I meant what Walking Dead couple is your favorite? I don't know, guys. Like, I could see that being a genuine slip up, but it could also be them kind of acknowledging Team Delusional. I don't know. I'll let you guys decide what you think about that. I wouldn't necessarily jump on it as proof, but I could see them slipping that in and him rehearsing that in such a way that he actually says TD, and nobody would catch that except us. So that might be the other reason that they took it down. Just kind of interesting, and this clip does make me pretty happy. So that's all. That's what I have for you today. It's just a tiny little bonus. I wasn't actually going to put anything up today because of the holiday, but I thought you guys would like this. So let's call it a Memorial Day holiday bonus. Meanwhile, I'm going to try and get some more videos, ask videos recorded, and I will be back later in the week. Hopefully tomorrow, but if not, the day after. All right, everyone have a wonderful day, whether you're celebrating the holiday or not, and I will talk soon. Bye.